Indy, Monaco, Le Mans. There are many great races in the world, but for amateur drivers, one race stands above all others. For the past 50 years, the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs has been the pinnacle of amateur motorsports. A single, winner-take-all event that can take a lifetime to win and only split seconds to lose. This is where champions are crowned, where professional careers are launched. This is where greatness is born.
And welcome to the 2013 SCCA Runoffs, the 50th running here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin and Road America. Up next is our Touring 4 division as well as the B-Spec class. This is Touring 4 and B-Spec, and we talk about these cars, two different classes racing here, but it is all sedans and subcompact cars.
These are my roots. And my first SCCA club races were in IT category and in showroom stock. And these classes today, T4 and Spec B, they're kind of a combination of those old days coming back again. And I really love it. On the pole, we got a couple of Mustangs on the Safe Racer front row. Let's go old front row Safe Racer, after all they do for majors and SCCA racing. It's Ford Mustangs. Combinations of very different cars in this race are going to make it an interesting battle.
Yeah, it sure will. And talking about prep levels for these T4 cars, we saw Touring 1. You saw Corvettes, Camaro, Mustang. You go to T4, we still have a Mustang here. How's that work?
There are a lot of different versions of Mustangs in these races. And part of what led to that is that a couple of years ago, the Mustangs, all of them, took a step forward with a new generation engine. And so the Mustang GTs went from about 300 horse to about 400, plain old Mustang GT. And then the Mustang V6, the lowly Mustang V6, went from about 200 horse to over 300. So up here in T4, we have the lower horsepower Mustang V6 version.
Well, to get a good look at some of those cars on the grid, our man down on pit lane, John Bizignano.
Well, you're absolutely right, Randy. These are the V6 4-liter Mustangs. They don't quite have the Detroit V8 sound to them or the power. But I'll tell you, Michael Scudovacchi, nice Italian boy, he certainly knows how to pedal this car around Road America. He's 1.4 seconds faster than the second place car, another Mustang, identical. But the second place car, this is his first time here, and he said, I left a lot of time on the track during qualification. So look for him to be making a good effort the later part of the race. Right now he just wants to keep the blue car in sight and push towards the end. Of course, that's the T4 competition. But over here it's a new class. And if you look down this side, the B-Spec, you know, these are almost what people would call economy type cars, but the manufacturers are taking this particular class very seriously because they want to prove even an economy car demands excellence of engineering and design. So you go all the way down here, this is a Mazda 3. Anyone can own a Mazda 3, and they want to see a Mazda 3 driver thinking of it as a finely engineered automobile. The way they can prove that is by winning a spec class like this. A lot of competition. This is almost all rear wheel drive, and over here the Mustangs, they're holding down the old, I'm sorry, correction, this is almost all front wheel drive, and the Mustangs are holding down the rear wheel drive pole position. So here we go again, two classes on the track at the same time. You know, I think those Mustangs are going to be catching the back of the B-Specs, and there's going to be a great speed difference there. Randy, you know what it's like to come up on, you know, a back marker, but a back marker of a totally different class of car, that could be spooky, especially in the closing laps.
Spooky is right. It makes for a great race because the strategies and the traffic are such factors. And I have a friend who runs these Mustangs, Dave Welch, out on the West Coast. He was telling me how great they are, how they just run and run and run, and they're almost like a little bit more powerful Spec Miata in a way.
Well, the Class 4 T4 is being led currently by two Mustangs. We have front-wheel drive kind of sandwiched in there with Lee Neffenegger in third. MX-5 going back to Brian Price in fourth. So you got V6 rear wheel drive in the front two, front wheel drive 4-cylinder, then you have a 4-cylinder rear wheel drive behind that. quite the diversity in T4. It's going to see how this race plays out based on tire wear. You know, you can run your own tire here. There's not a spec tire. I'm not sure how it's going to play out. What's your thoughts going into this, Randy? And who do you think is going to have the advantage?
I think Jim Eben back there in 10th. He's got a rotary going, not the Mazda RX-8. But truthfully, what I'm seeing here is Michael Skornavaki with a 1.4 second lead, as Biz mentioned there on pit lane. He qualified way faster than this field. So we're going to see if anybody can have something for him in the race. Maybe they'll get something figured out, show it in the race for us, give us a battle for the lead. That's a big gap in that Mustang.
Looking at the B-Spec cars now, for both of these classes, as happened here, pretty much I think 26 of the 28 classes, these guys had, you know, rain sessions. A B-Spec, there was only one dry session, and that was that session on Tuesday. T4 did have that third session in the dry, but the track was really, really cold. So guys that had problems in the first session, rain on that second session for everybody, they had to make it happen during that third session. A few of them did. They did set their best time, but most of that was done in that first session on Tuesday.
I see what you mean there, Jeff. So the qualifying is not necessarily a real good indication of what we're going to see in the race in the T3 class.
Yeah,
T4.
T4. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Of course, Skornavaki with that huge lead in qualifying. Going to the B-Spec class now. This is the class that these cars directly relate to the pro category. You can buy your little B-Spec car, slap on a set of Pirelli P0 tires, come race in Pirelli P0, line your little Mazda 2 right next up to that K-Pax Volvo S60. You guys don't really race together, unfortunately, with touring cars splitting off with B-Spec now. But some of these guys have done that. Charlie James, Joel Liparini, Sean Young, Mike Asalta. Got it. I'm there. Okay. Don't have a lot of hard names. Oh, the front of the T4 name, we got a lot of hard names, but we've been well rehearsed on that one.
Well, you know, Charlie James and Mike Asalta, both huge supporters of SCCA club racing. Charlie owns and runs SafeRacer.com, the best place to buy all of your equipment for road racing, from suits to helmets and anything else. And Mike Asalta works for him, and he's the right hand getting it all done. And both of these guys are quick in their minis. I'm surprised Charlie's not on the pole. Obviously, Joel Weinberg and Sean Young have done a great job with those Mazda 2s. Weinberger, we saw him earlier in that Audi A4, didn't we? Over in the STU class,
category, running that Audi A4 all-wheel drive. And
I think I see some really successful drafting going on here, because it's still close. The top cars all in the 55s.
Well, you go from an all-wheel drive Audi A4 to your B-Spec, but he might be faster in the B-Spec in the race because it was raining during the Audi STU class. So I wonder if the B-Spec could be a faster race for him here this weekend. So he says he can I took my Audi A4 to the national championships. I ran my B-Spec car to the national championships. My B-Spec car was faster than my Audi. Wouldn't that be something?
These B-Spec cars are running something like about 90 horsepower. And it reminds me of when I started racing. My first series was the Volkswagen Cup, SCCA Pro Racing, 1985. We ran a brand new 85 Golf, 85 horsepower. So very much like these B-Spec cars. Those straightaways last a long time. And the draft is a big deal in B-Spec.
It sure does. They cut a big hole in the air when you see these, and still going.
It's a tall hole.
Tall hole
but
there?
It's not a very wide hole, Jeff.
I want to take my tape measure down there, and just out of pure curiosity, are they taller than they are wide?
I think that they're actually more aerodynamic sideways than they are straight ahead.
I got to give a huge shout out to Tony Kester and his team there racing that Continental Mazda ALM ACC members Mazda 2. Had a rollover in that car.
Ouch.
It was due to contact. Someone hit him in the back. That car rolled over, skidded down the straight. The crew worked diligently to get that car going again, banged everything back out, put brand new glass in it, took the doors off, shook all the glass out of the doors. He's back. He's going to make the start of this race. How about that?
Wow, that's great work. Kind of like the story with the Viper over there. And
with Tim Myers.
What about Robbie Davis? He's a top competitor in B-Spec. I see him here last on the grid with no times in practice. Is he on the grid?
Yeah, we'll have to see if Robbie Davis makes it. Brad Davis was not here earlier, and I don't think Robbie Davis is not here.
Oh, that's too bad. but it's good for everybody in this race because they got a better shot at winning. Robbie Davis always at the top of the charts. Charlie James there, the SafeRacer.com, a major supporter of all of Majors Racing.
Yeah, sure is, man. The Safe Racer Pole Position Award sponsored each and every group here. They got their truck set down there in the vendor area. If you forgot something in your bag, if you forgot something, needed something for your racing, come down there and grab it. It's here. He has it. Order online.
Maybe you can even pick up a ride there, because that's where I met Nick Leveroni, down there in the Safe Racer equipment area. We were just talking about racing at the Runoffs, and I mentioned I didn't have a car, and he says, drive mine.
Well, do you want to know how great it is and what he supports in SCCA Club Racing? Each pole position winner, you know what the prize is?
What is it?
A brand new Safe Racer suit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
How about that? Yeah, you can get a brand new suit from Safe Racer. That is awesome.
That's a big deal.
Earning that suit in T4 categories, we do our field rundown here. That was Michael Skornavaki from Matthews, North Carolina, that Angry Sheep Motorsports Carbotech Ford Mustang. Starting on the outside of that Safe Racer pole, Greg Vandersloot from North Olmsted, Ohio, in that Carbotech BF Goodrich Ford Racing Mustang.
That's Michael Galati's hometown, I think.
North Olmsted, Ohio?
I believe so.
They're probably neighbors, as quick as both of those guys are. Lee Neffenegger starts in the third position from Santa Clarita, California, the Honda Racing, Honda Performance Development, BF Goodrich, Honda Civic SI. Brian Price, the body shop owner from Middletown, Virginia, the RP Performance AutoWorks Mazda MX-5, says, I got plenty of people to fix my car. Michael Collins starts fifth from Mount Airy, Maryland, in the Meathead Racing Butler-built Mazda MX-5. Matthew Stahl from Torrance, California, the HPD Honda Racing BF Goodrich Tires Honda Civic SI. Ralph Porter starts seventh, the Kokomo, Indiana, Hoosier Racing Tire Barn BMW Z4. Lance Stewart, I think he's I know he's a national champion in the runoffs here at Miami, Florida, the Specialty Vehicle Logistics Ford Mustang.
He's going to be a factor in this race, Jeff.
Andrew Von Charbonneau from Boca Raton, Florida, and his BF Goodrich, the best damn race tire. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty good sponsor. Ford
Another
Mustang starting in
driver.
ninth. And Jim Eben out of Appleton, Wisconsin, the Mazda Hoosier Carbotech Lammers Racing Mazda RX-8, that rotary.
In 11th, Steve Zink, the dad, in a Ford Mustang V6 from Fort Worth, Texas. 12th, Toby Grahovic, who's had a tough weekend, but still has another car to race. This classic BMW Hoosier Tire Redline BMW Z4. Toby had a big old crash over in STL, or STU, in practice. 13th, Paul Gargiulo, an old buddy of mine, a heck of a good driver. He's got a Honda Civic SI, sponsored by Westport Honda, HPD, and Race Labs. 14th, Stan Zaki, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, the coolest town name of all this weekend. Whitehead, DGI, Schaff Auto, BFG, HPD, Acura RSX Type S. And now Steve Zink's daughter, Christina Etherington, number 96 from Henderson, Nevada, in another Ford Mustang V6. The 84 car starting in 16th is Lothar Kremer from Franktown, Colorado. BF Goodrich Hawks Performance Chevy Camaro, go Camaro. 17th, the number 38 car of James Place, an old Mazda Miata racer friend of mine. Well, maybe not that old, but it was 20 years ago we were running. And he's got himself a Ford Mustang. Place Rentals, BF Goodrich, Hawk and Ford, his sponsor. 18th, Victor Van Tress, another name I recognize from the good old days. West Hills, California, in a Special Vehicle Logistics Mazda MX-5. 19th, Keith Jones from Lorain, Ohio, Storage A Go-Go, Ridgeville, Ohio, sponsored Mazda Miata. 20th, Steve Christopher from Olaf, Kansas, BBS Sprint Stocks, Parental Control, BFG, Mazda 3.
Michael McCoffey in the number 18 Hoosier Tire Carbotech Toyota Celica GTS. Got no times this weekend, as well as Tom Daly in his Volkswagen Rabbit. Not sure if they made the field.
Mark Mackay did not make it. He had a big old crash early in practice, unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunate for him. Going to your B-Spec category, and this will be a split start. So the T4 guys will take the green flag, followed by the B-Spec cars, and getting that Safe Racer pole, Joe Weinberger from Hinesdale, Illinois, in the Continental Mazda Castrol stable Mazda 2. Sean Young starts on the outside, his teammate in the other of those Continental Mazda stable Castrol Neutral Oil Mazda 2. Charlie James, we mentioned the great support that Joplin, Missouri driver gives to all the club racers here at our SCCA runoffs. The Safe Racer BFG Sparco FedEx Joe Gibbs Racing Mini Cooper. Joe Liparini, multi-national championship racer in showroom stock in his BF Goodrich Honda Race Labs Fit. Mike Asalta, he starts from Overland Park, Kansas in the 5th position in his Mini Cooper, also one of those Safe Racer BFG Sparco FedEx Joe Gibbs Racing Minis. Starting on the 6th, Brian Kelm from Plymouth, Michigan in a BuyFordRacing.com Ford Fiesta. Roy Richards starts in the 7th position out of Boron, California. Team Honda Research West Racing. This is the Honda Fit that Sage Murray won the championship in last year. Derek Ambrose, Vancouver, Washington, and the Corksport Mazda Performance Monarch Mazda 2 starts in 8th. Mark Bowden making the call in the Continental Mazda Fall Line Motorsports Mazda 2, racing a couple different classes here this weekend. Tony Kester, we mentioned him before, he starts in 10th in the Mazda Racing ALM ACM members, and we met it before. Robbie Davis did not make the call.
Okay, that's going to be some very cool, very fun racing when you see that pack of 90 horsepower beasts coming across the finish line all together every lap. Lots of fun out here. In fact, the B-Spec reminds me of what it was like back in Volkswagen Cup. The straightaways are about the drafting strategy and moving the wheel as little as possible to reduce drag, shifting as quick as possible. But the straightaways are like the foreplay. And then the corners are super exciting because you can't afford to scrub off any speed. You fly through the corner in a Spec V, trying to keep your speed up for the next straightaway.
So the trick there is not to hit the brakes.
As little as possible.
And they play that whole philosophy of 8 tires is better than 4, 12 is better than 4, 16 is better than 4. We'll see that in B-Spec.
Yeah, 3 engines is better than 1. Yeah, they line up, and probably we'll be doing a little bump drafting. And I'm not sure it's legal, but I saw and felt a lot of it in Spec Miata, so I think it's okay. And it's pretty cool. A long established racing strategy of pushing on the guy ahead of you rather than pulling out of his draft, because 2 cars running down that straight together are faster than 1. There's only 1 B-Spec profile punching the air, yet you've got 2 engines driving it.
Yeah, and we will see the first start will be our T4 cars, followed by our B-Spec cars. Once again, it is going to be a split start for both of these category of cars, which is, I think, a good choice, even though if you even lined them up by times, I don't think there's going to be that big of a gap. But it is great that the officials here at SCCA did make that distinction, given them their own race.
It can be depressing to see all the other cars drive away from you. And
10 cars did take a time during this race weekend, so it will be a national champion in the B-Spec.
That's fabulous. B-Specs are cool cars. This is a class that's growing rapidly for those who want to get on the track inexpensively and get out there and have a good time. The whole intention of the class is to provide another opportunity to go racing at the lowest possible cost, but still at a national championship level.
Yeah, it sure is, and we talk about that relating directly to the Pirelli World Challenge. We'll get to talk with Mr. Jeff Carter a little bit earlier, telling about what's at stake in the B-Spec and what these guys can win as they transition to World Challenge. But coming now, it is the T4 cars coming out of turn number 14. You'll see the Road America Chevy Corvette pace car pull off.
Everybody trying to time that moment when they get to the gas. Hopefully it's just before the guy ahead of them does.
20 guys ready to take the green flag here. You saw those brake lights coming on, but right now it's going to be Skornovacki and Vandersloot on the front row. And there it is, green flag. Skornovacki got the jump. Lee Neffenegger tucking in behind that Mustang. He has to do that in his Honda Civic if he wants to have a chance down these long front straightaways. That Mustang cuts a big hole. Will we see Neffenegger down to the inside? We do see one of those Miatas there running down on the inside of Mark Stahl.
Neffenegger going for second place. MX-5 trying to split them. It's getting crowded on the exit.
And look at Brian Price and Neffenegger side by side as they come down the hill here into turn number 3. It is going to be Brian Price on the outside. He'll stick it in there.
Green flag for B-Spec. They go flying by. The Mazda 2s in the lead.
And there it is, your pole sitter, Safe Racer Pole Award winner, still in the lead. Coming down here through turn number 1, the number 11.
No, they actually swapped spots.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
We got
Sean
a
Young in the
slide.
first. Oh, no.
Cars everywhere.
Oh.
That's bad.
Oh, right
yes.
there at the very end.
Yikes.
Tried to save it. That is the number 10, I believe.
That's Joel Weinberger, our safe racer pole sitter. He got it in the grass, locked the tires, and slid it all the way to the wall.
Action all over the track now is the Miata MX-5 there. Michael Collins in trouble. Brian Price still in second place here, side by side between these guys. There is Vandersloot, got a terrible start, and it's going bad for him more as he drops all the way back to, it looks like, 6th position now.
Gornavaki ahead of the Madness in the lead in the T4 category. The MX-5 of Brian Price, is he the one that's back in there, or is he the one in trouble?
Brian Price is in second, Neffenegger is in third, Matthew Stahl in fourth.
That MX-5 getting it done on the first 2 straightaways here. Good start for the Mazda Miata.
Yeah, got a great run through number 1 and heartbreak in B-Spec there for your Safe Racer pole winner, Joel Weinberger. Huge incident there, but it looks like he got that car cleared, I hope. And that puts, look at that. Oh, more action
drama.
here.
Oh my gosh. Heads up.
Another hit there in that Ford Fiesta.
Tough day in B-Spec. The Safe Racer Mini gets by, but just barely.
Brian Kellman, the Irish Mike Racing Ford Fiesta.
Ouch.
Hard in the wall there. Charlie James, I was just going to say, was leading in B-Spec, followed by Joel Liparini.
And that was Micah Celta back there, just missing the Mazda, or the Ford Fiesta as it spun back across the track.
Yeah, Salta got one there, but now look at Neffenegger putting the battle here to Brian Price. Brian Price, second place in that Mazda MX-5. The only race he was racing here this weekend, wanted to run ST. Some of the other classes decided he's going to focus only on this T4 championship.
And MX-5 getting it done down the straightaway. The Civic probably a little stronger. Neffenegger getting a draft, trying it on the outside.
Yeah, Brian Price protecting that inside. Neffenegger says, no problem, I'll just go around you on the outside. Matthew Stahl now under attack by that Mustang. I believe that's Lance Stewart.
That's Lance Stewart, he's coming.
Remember, there is a caution in 1, so you got to be careful as you come down the hill through turn number 2. You got safety crews here. You want to race, you want to try to get around them, but you got to let off and breathe that a little bit. Coming down the hill into turn number 5, Matthew Stahl taking a look over Brian Price, does not make it happen.
Look at that MX-5 kill the Civic on the exit. It's a handling car. The Civic's got more power down the straight, and even more power in the Mustang as Lance Stewart getting squeezed to the grass, getting by that Matthew Stahl car, the other Honda Civic.
Now, Lance Stewart is a national champion in this all the way back to 1986 in Showroom Stock B at Road Atlanta.
I raced with Lance a lot back in the day. He is one heck of a driver, or he was.
He still is. He's out there, and you're in the booth.
Let's see how good he is today.
Okay. Boy, Vandersloot still having problems in his Mustang. You saw him coming wide out of turn number 5 there into the dirt over the rumble strip.
Lance Stewart picking up a spot. We've got more drama in turn 6. There's a caution.
Yeah, yellow flag still here for Brian Kelm and his Fiesta.
Darn shame. Lance Stewart looking pretty good, but I want him to prove it. Let's see what you got, Lance. Further back in the field, a little action. Whoa, the Mustang just missing the back of that little guy.
Well, heavy on the brakes there to the number 38 at James Place, all into the back. Lost some body work on that one.
Good drama, and as usual, no matter where you are in the field, they are going for it.
Skornovaki pulling away from Neffenegger now with Brian Price slotted into the 3rd position through the kink here. See who gets through that a little bit easier.
Wow, bounces it off the inside curb, but it doesn't disturb the car very much.
Battle for 3rd in B-Spec now between Tony Kestner, the number 99. The car that pirouetted upside down the straightaway is up to 3rd place. Micah Salta in 4th in the Safe Racer Mini. Back to 5th is Derek Ambrose in his Mazda 2.
And Charlie James of SafeRacer.com is in the lead.
Sure is. Joel Liparini in 2nd, but the battle for that final podium position now, Tony Kestner has it, and what a great run for him. Being upside down on Tuesday to coming in and now on a podium spot.
He has come from last place in no time whatsoever.
These B-Spec cars,
James, Liparini,
coming out of the carousel through the kink. We'll see how the B-Spec cars handle the kink, and I got to think you'd be flat out here, but these guys are still, they're approaching 100 miles an hour through the kink, and a small tire, small car, you might have to get out of the brakes. And it's, you know, softly sprung. We don't have coilovers and big sway bars on these B-Spec cars.
You're still going 100 miles an hour, and you've got to drive it right.
And look at Lance Stewart now. He slots into third place. He gets around Brian Price, trying to put it to Lee Neffenegger to the podium for Lance Stewart.
The stewards trying to keep this race green are going local on the yellows, and really a great kudo goes to the safety crews for pulling these cars out of the way under race conditions. And it's the responsibility of these drivers to back off just enough that you know for sure you're not going to go out of control as you drive through that incident.
Well, here is Lee Neffenegger in second place. Lance Stewart in the third, onto the braking zone. Big Mustang has to get woe down. That agile Civic SI probably a little easier on the brakes, but Lance Stewart using every piece of track. Matthew Stahl using a little bit more.
And the Brian Price MX-5 reels that Mustang in under braking. The Mustang a little quicker on the straights, a little bigger, a little heavier, a little more powerful. We're under yellow, no passing here. Turn 7, where the Fiesta is parked. Safety crews trying to pick that one up.
Oh, and Brian Price looking to the inside.
It's close.
Oh, Lance Stewart did give him some room. The veteran there watching that coming in his mirror.
He probably heard it.
That could have been bad too. Yeah, he saw the brake lock up there, and I think that might have been a left rear brake lock up from Lance Stewart. I kind of heard the tire hop a little bit with that live rear axle in that Mustang.
I think they chatter when they're fully hard on the brakes and downshifting. Skornavaki out in front. Whoa, the MX-5 making a move into the kink.
Boy, did Brian Price get a run out of the carousel to make that happen, to get that pass even done before the kink, because you know you don't want to go side by side through there.
Very unusual. I think Lance Stewart has probably got a pretty good push going through the carousel. He's all over the MX-5 on the straightaway down into turn 12, Canada corner.
Oh, and Brian Price all over the brakes. Looks like he almost blew that corner as Lance Stewart now kind of get on the outside, back to the inside here. No, he's going to stay to the outside, make it the inside of this corner. He'll complete the pass for third.
Pulls him on the way through turn 13, and he's going to lead him down the straightaway.
And now Brian Price was under attack by Matthew Stahl there. Kind of checked up a little bit, and now Vandersloot looks like he's recovered.
He's getting back in the action here.
Sitting in sixth place and moving his way back up.
Something about his setup wasn't working the first 2 laps back there for Vandersloot.
And here's Matthew Stahl getting the draft behind that Mazda MX-5 down the straightaway. And looks like Vandersloot either trying to make it 3 wide or follow Matthew Stahl through. But Brian Price into the braking zone.
That little Mazda's got the brakes.
He sure does. I'm not sure how long he can make that last. We have 13 laps to go, or 40 minutes, whichever comes first. The way they're going here, it's going to be that 13 laps with Matthew Stahl to the inside of Brian Price now. No room there.
Oh,
wow.
Dusts his front bumper. Takes that Safe Racer sticker right off the front bumper. Meanwhile, Vandersloot trying to squeeze by between the Civic and the grass.
Yeah, Matthew Stahl had to check up. That let Vandersloot get to the inside. And Vandersloot with the fast lap. We said he was recovering good. Look at that, a 1:41.6.
They're all running in the 42s, which is a little bit quicker than Spec Miata. 3 wide. The MX-5 kills them in the brake zone into 5.
Yeah, but how close are these 2 Mustangs of Vandersloot and Lance Stewart? They're separated by 1/1000th of a second on the time. 0.694 versus a 0.695.
We're in the 42s from first all the way back to 6th place.
Brian Price continuing there, and now look at Lance Stewart still battling with Lee Neffenegger. Brian Price with Vandersloot, Matthew Stahl behind them. Action all over going on here in the T4 category.
Whoa, that Mustang looks big behind that MX-5 of Brian Price. Grassing it goes Vandersloot and Stahl.
Boy, Vandersloot went off the track, and I think Matt Stahl just followed him through and said, "Where's he going? Hey, let me follow him." But look at Lance Stewart there on the inside of Neffenegger.
Lance looking good in the carousel that time around. Something unusual happened last lap with Brian Price getting by Lance there. Lance is going to take a shot at Neffenegger in 12.
Well, Lance qualified in the 8th spot. These guys did that on Tuesday. Had a long time to make some changes. Looks like he made the right changes coming down into the braking zone. I think if Lance has to do it, he's going to either have to do it on a draft down the straightaway or make a bonsai move in the braking zone.
I look forward to a nice bonsai brake move, because that is part of what we want to see in this racing action today.
Going back to our B-Spec battle, there is Mike Asalta, and he has got around Tony Kester for that third piss. Yeah, Tony Kester in third now, so it is Asalta and Kester for third. A lot at stake in our B-Spec category, and with Charlie James leading, Joel Liparini in second, Asalta is in third, and Kester in fourth.
Just having a long talk with Mike Asalta about how to drive a front-wheel drive car. He's a rear drive guy, and he's still getting the hang of these front-wheel drive B-Specs. You can't use the power and the steering together. They have to be opposites. If you're coming into the power, you got to be letting go of some of that steering.
Well, going off
There's
to
Liparini, second in B-Spec.
You get the Safe Racer Pole Award, so you're going to win a driver's suit. If you win the B-Spec category, guess what? Your entire year is paid for in Pirelli World Challenge. You get all your entry fees paid for the entire 2014 season. If you're in Joel Liparini's shoes, you get 3 of your races paid for. And this battle for third between Asalta and Kester, that's for a free race entry in the Pirelli World Challenge for B-Spec. Jeff Carter joining us in the booth here, doing the balance of performance, competition director. Great turnout this year. We've had well over 20 cars at the Pirelli World Challenge B-Spec races, and it's attributed to what this guy has done here with Kevin Fandoza. We saw him racing earlier in the T3 category, finished second. They have really balanced performance, these B-Spec cars, to make it happen where you can have a Mini, a Ford Fiesta, a Honda Fit, Mini Cooper, the Mazda. I mean, just amazing how close these guys are. 20 guys out here racing in B-Spec.
B-Spec is the easiest way to get in pro racing.
I'll tell you what, getting your whole year paid for?
That's a big deal.
That's awesome.
That's more than the price of a B-Spec, I'm telling you. So there's a lot of motivation, and up front right now it's Charlie James leading.
That's a lot of motivation, especially what he's given all the racers here. If he can get his year paid for in B-Spec Pirelli World Challenge competition next year, he wants to have that happen. But Joel Liparini is on the charge. Joel set a faster lap time that previous lap than Charlie James by a couple hundredths. Joel Liparini is no slouch either.
Screaming the tires through the corner. Yeah, Liparini gets it done. He's quick in that fit. In fact, the leaders both just passed a T4 car.
Oh, and here's the battle for second in T4 as Lance Stewart got Lee Neffenegger. Now he's under attack from Brian Price in that MX-5. Price to the outside of Neffenegger.
That'll hang on around 13.
Oh, can he stick it? No, he cannot, as Neffenegger now to third place.
As Stewart sets off after Skornavaki.
Yeah, Skornavaki has checked out a little bit, about 2-second lead over this gap here of Lance Stewart, Neffenegger, Brian Price, and now Vandersloot up to the 5th position.
But Lance Stewart has got the fastest lap of the race right now, but it's not a whole lot faster than Skornavaki, and it's a long gap he's got to make up. He's going to maybe try to get that a couple of tenths of a second at a time.
And Vandersloot using the power of that Mustang to get around Brian Price. Watch Price down here in the braking zone in turn number 1. He hasn't let that happen each time, but no, Vandersloot gets it. Boy, Lance Stewart pushing that Mustang into the dirt on the exit of 1, down here through 2, into the braking zone at 3. Brian Price holding back in 5th now.
Lance Stewart, a superstar in showroom stock back in the 80s and 90s. We had some great races in those days, and then was a factory driver for Mazda for a couple of years. Drove the 4-rotor GT car back in the early 90s.
Oh, wow, a lot of experience there. Switching over to the Ford Mustang now in T4, and looking like it's good for him, as Mustang is 1 and 2 in T4. It's Honda, and then another Mustang in 4th.
The Mustangs are actually a very popular and really usable choice for racing in T3 and T4 and T2 and T1. If you get a Shelby, they're everywhere. They're almost like the Miata.
I was going to say, if you want to run in touring category, I think you need to get a Mazda, huh?
Mazda or a Mustang.
One
or
of the
Honda. They're all hot. Niffenegger's still in it, but he's feeling a little heat from Vandersloot, who's gotten back into the race. He's back on pace. Our top times are now all in the 41s for the top 4 cars.
Now, Neffenegger does have a national championship. He won it in showroom stock B in 2008 at Heartland Park, Topeka, Kansas.
He's one of those HPD Honda representatives.
I promise you,
strong.
His national championship was in a Honda too.
Neffenegger on Stewart, and Liparini catching James, we hear in the B-Spec. That's a nice group there. That's a race for second. They're all trying to run down Skornovaki, who's built himself a 3.5-second lead.
And if I have to choose who's going to be second, look at Neffenegger all over the brakes. The ABS on that car, that Honda Civic Si, boy, bouncing off the curb, shaking the back. Lance Stewart running wide, drops those left side tires on. Any advantage he had through Canada Corner, he just lost over Neffenegger.
These street-based cars can just straighten the track out any way possible because those stock-based suspensions can soak up the bumps and just keep right on going. It's not like the Formula Enterprises cars we were talking about, how low they are. No problem here. Plenty of ground clearance. Look at that Mustang pulling down the straightaway. It's a V6. It's the earlier version of the V6. They're a little over 200 horse. But I saw on the door of Skornovaki's car, 3,450 pounds.
Yeah, they weigh a lot.
They're heavy, but they're more powerful. And Mustangs, again, as I've said twice before, an overachiever.
But you got to think about, you know, we're halfway now, just past halfway when they get down to turn number 8. 13 laps. This will be 6.5 laps. Is that Mustang going to be easy on the tires? Is Neffenegger holding something back? He doesn't look like he is.
No,
but
he doesn't.
Traditionally, front-wheel drive might be a little easier on tires versus the heavy 3,450-pound Mustang.
Front-wheel drive is very easy on the rear tires.
And here's
Vandersloot. Pretty hard on the
Vandersloot.
front. Vandersloot looking strong. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Skornovaki looking strong out in the lead.
Yes.
Vandersloot taking a shot at Neffenegger.
Yeah, here's Vandersloot now looking at Neffenegger. Neffenegger protecting onto the inside. It's going to be a braking war as Vandersloot trying to get the run off the corner. Not what he was looking for, but Lee Neffenegger protecting through turn 5, doing a great job there, but on the attack of Vandersloot now.
And pulling him up the hill to turn 6. Now they're heading for 7. That little Civic, good running car.
It sure is.
Got a 2.4 liter.
Battling for third, that's allowing Lance Stewart to pull away. I'm going to start looking at the times and looking at that gap between Skornovaki and see if Stewart is getting anything on Skornovaki.
Doesn't look like it on our screen. The Civics also make a little over 200 horse, just like the Mustang, but from only 2.4 liters. The Mustang's a 4 liter, but it's an old school pushrod 4 liter, not as efficient. Look at that smoke. I think that Vandersloot is actually smoking his outside front through the carousel.
Well, great action here in our T4 category. We'll catch up with B-Spec when we come back. The 2013 SCCA runoffs are brought to you by Mazda. Zoom, zoom.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
He ignored the naysayers and never compromised. When Thomas Edison threw the switch, it changed everything. Engineering without compromise. This is the Mazda way. And this is the Mazda CX-5. Skyactiv technology makes it lighter yet stronger, earning a top safety pick. And more fuel efficient than any hybrid SUV. This is the uncompromised Mazda CX-5. What do you drive?
And we're back to action here at the 2013 SCCA runoffs, and this is the battle for third. Mike Aselta, Tony Kester, and Sean Young has gone in to this battle for that third position. Everybody's wanting that entry into Pirelli World Challenge next year.
That is heated up.
Look at this, Tony Kester down to the inside, hard on the brakes. Boy, you can hardly tell that car was on its roof. If you look very closely, you can see it. That crew did a great job fixing that car. But Sean Young battling his teammate there in the other Mazda 2. He wants a piece of this.
Man, these little B-Specs are running hard. The Mini, a good handling choice in this class.
A little bit more power over the Mini or the Mazda 2?
No, I don't think so, but they're wide. So they've got more stability in the corners. When you watch these things go through the kink, you can see the Mini is wider than the Mazda 2s, and that gives them more stability, more cornering power.
Get those wheels out to the edge.
Yep.
Well, great battle here for third in B-Spec. And going with Randy Popes, kind of had a big battle there, too, earlier today, huh?
I had a ball. I had a great time driving him. Mazda Miata loaned to me by Nick Laveroni of Flat Out Motorsports up in New England. It was great. Got those juices flowing.
Well, I'll tell you what. It looks like Neffenegger dropped back with Vandersloot. I think I saw that right there in the back of the monitor. We'll have to watch him as they go through the kink. And sure enough, look at that. Neffenegger losing two positions as Vandersloot and Price gets around him.
Look at that Mustang towing that Miata. Holy cow, he's right on him.
Well, Brian Price to the outside, back to the inside. Wow. Heavy on the brakes there. Wow, can he make this stick?
Throws it inside.
Boy, Vandersloot looking back on the inside there. I got to write that one down as our GoPro hero move of the race. Wow, how about Brian Price? Can he hold it up here through turn number 12?
And
no, he cannot do it. Wow, what a great action we have here for third place.
Neffenegger trying it in 14. Comes in, backs it in sideways. Not enough to make a move on Brian Price.
Boy, Vandersloot up to third now. Brian Price in fourth. Neffenegger in fifth.
There's a little smoke out of that Vandersloot Mustang. It wasn't the tires after all, but maybe it won't be a factor long term. Look at him pull that poor little Miata. Great handling car, not the choice for the straightaways in this class. Lance Stewart lapping his way up in his pursuit of Skornavaki, who's still got a nice 3.8 second lead.
And Lance Stewart sets the fastest race lap at 2:41.499. He is coming. Skornavaki, though, has a 3.8 second lead. It was 2.5 earlier. And oh, here's a pass for that third place in B-Spec. Getting the number on that.
Puts
Kester
it on a Celta.
Moves up to third place now. So Kester coming from the back after that rollover up to third place. Make a little note for move of the race there as well. That GoPro Hero camera is at stake.
Oh, that's a hairy move into 7 on the inside in B-Spec.
And Lipperini.
Let's see if they all come out of that corner alive, and they do.
He's not letting Charlie James get away near the front either for Lipperini, but look at Kester. Once he got around Asalta, he is able to pull away from that march. 2 cars behind him with the number 11 of Sean Young.
On the march.
Derek Ambrose is just peeking through in his Mazda 2 as well. Good fun here in a B-Spec. I got a chance to drive one of these cars last year, and boy, was it a blast. They are so much fun to drive. If you're looking to get into racing, come in at the Formula.
I remember that, Jeff. It was Pirelli World Challenge, but I can't remember how you finished. How'd you do?
I started last, and I think I won. Yeah, that's right. First place, baby.
Oh, you won. Oh, Jeff. Well done.
That's right. I'm a Pirelli World Challenge professional race winner. How about that?
As we're looking at the battle for third in B-Spec. They're whipping these little cars hard. 4 cylinders, making about 100 horse. They're lightweight. They're under 2,500 pounds. And they're a super fun car to drive and an inexpensive way to go racing.
Yeah, they sure are. And good battle still brewing in the B-Spec category with Charlie James leading. Joel Lipperini hot on his tail, though. Lipperini's lapping about 0.2 of a second a lap faster than Charlie James, but the battle for third between Tony Kester, Mike Asalta, Sean Young, and Derek Ambrose. You see them there on your screen.
Pulling 100 miles an hour. Asalta trying to get back in the draft of Kester. Kester no longer looks like he's leaving that pack.
And there's a great look at Joel Lipperini, the big BF Goodrich down the side of his car.
Did you see him throw the wheel into that corner?
He sure did.
Great.
Sticking those BF Goodrich tires, and a lot of BF Goodrich tires are on these cars. The top 3, I believe, top 5, 6 cars in B-Spec is on those BF Goodriches. I know Neffenegger on BF Goodrich. A lot of support from all the tire manufacturers here this weekend. You see those Hoosier tires, BF Goodrich. It's great to have the club racing level have the high dollar support from these tire manufacturers.
Lipperini is just muscling that little B-Spec into the corners. You can see him crank the wheel. He's trying to make that front wheel drive car slide it in, back it in, get those rear tires to do all the work they can.
Well, overworking those tires as well. We saw it earlier. Brian Price in that Mazda MX-5, I think he's overheated his tires. He's dropped back to 6th. Matthew Stahl in his Honda Civic got around Price for that 5th position.
Yeah, Price had a moment. He was 5 seconds off the pace that lap, but he's still running.
Yeah, he's still out there,
We'll see what his next lap is back. Maybe he had a little half spin somewhere. He's dropped back. Skornavaki's still leading overall by 3.5 seconds. There's Price.
Oh, he did get back around stall now, so whatever moment he had, he's recovered from that.
Yep, they're going to catch a lapper here. Could be a factor.
See
Price and Stall.
Stephen Christopher there in that Mazda 3.
The MX-5 is one of those cars that'll be a much better choice next year when the Runoffs move to California at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
And now the T4 cars catching up to the back of our B-Spec category going through the field. That was the number 98 of Steven Zink in his Ford Mustang. And that's the 08 of Keith Jones. So Zink and Jones battling, pounding on each other. We got reports from the course workers. A lot of body contact between those two guys.
If I was in an MX-5, I wouldn't want to be pounded on by a Mustang right now, I'll tell you that.
So during your race, did you get pounded on a little bit in your little Miata? I mean, I know my dad beat you for crying out loud. I mean,
that was all good.
You let my old man finish in front of you. I cannot believe that, Randy.
He earned it.
I thought we had an agreement here.
It must be
Look at this,
Jeff.
3 wide. How about this now?
Right down the middle.
Wow, the number 75 Mazda MX-5 there. Wow, that was close. Sorry, that's the 78, I believe, of Jim Eben in the RX-8.
In the RX-8, yep. They're going for it. And it gets real interesting when you start lapping. Big speed difference between T4 and B-Spec.
Yeah, Michael Collins there recovering from the incident he had a little bit earlier, and you hear the tire lockups and the tire squeals. These T4 cars and B-Specs are all over the place right now.
Tire squeal is a good thing. Squealing tire is a happy tire, we used to say at Skip Barber Racing School. But squalling, no, not so good. There's both leaders.
Skornavaki and his Mustang got around Joe Liparini in second in B-Spec. Now Charlie James leading B-Spec.
James has built out a little bit more of a lead. Skornavaki about to lap him, but Charlie James leading in B-Spec regardless. That Mustang looks just like a Boss 302 from 1969. It's a good-looking car.
Well, Skornavaki won the Showroom Stock B National Championship here in 2011, looking to see if he can make it 2 here at the 2013 50th running of the SCCA Runoffs in T3, getting around our TCB leader Charlie James and his Mini Cooper, but it is Skornavaki, that number 2 Ford Mustang. I love that classic Boss look. It's only a V6, but it still has the stripe, the white dot with the number in that dot. Looks really classic. Love the look of his car.
Top 3 cars in T4 are all Mustangs right now, and they're all turning almost identical times of 2 minutes, 42.2 seconds. Well, it's closely matched. I don't know if Stewart's going to be able to reel in Skornavaki, but I know he's trying.
Well, we said it all Runoffs long. Yeah, the Mustangs are good here at Road America. What happens next year at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca?
Right. Good point. I think I might be wanting an MX-5 in T4 over there. But we'll see. The Mustangs, they're kind of good everywhere. But I think the straightaway is their strong point in T4.
Boy, Lance Stewart and Vandersloot were really pushing coming out of turn number 8 there, getting wide, running over those runnable strips. They are trying their hardest to catch up to Skornavaki. Not really gaining any ground as they're all running pretty much identical lap times, all within 1/10 of a second of each other.
Consistently, lap after lap, the driver in second is working to try to close that gap, pushing for it, digging for anything to get more speed out of the car.
Here is Vandersloot by your, maybe not by your TCB leader. He's trying his hardest, but momentum with that Mini Cooper. He's able to get through the corner quicker than that Ford Mustang, but once you get to the straightaway here, put your foot down in that Mustang, and there's no replacement for displacement.
And brakes. The Mini is 1,000 pounds lighter than the Mustang, and it's not easy to outbrake something with that kind of a weight advantage.
Still see Lee Neffenegger there in his Honda Civic SI. Saw Joe Liparini had the turn signal on. I guess that's a little bit more effective in the B-Spec car than sticking your hand out the window.
I don't know. It's dangerous to use a turn signal because to some people it means you pass me on that side, and to other people it means I'm going this way. So the Vandersloot is still smoking just a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen that all race long, and not sure what that is. Possibly just a little drop of oil somewhere getting on something, but
he's only got 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. Got to hold it together that long.
Vandersloot out of sight of Lance Stewart right now, though. They're spread out. We've got 3 seconds back to Lance. He's actually been able to catch Skornavaki a little bit by turning a 41.9 last time. Vandersloot definitely smoking. It's an endurance race now to get that Mustang to the finish.
Yeah, Lance Stewart, you just saw a glimpse of him, and there is your top three on the screen. Skornovaki just out of frame. Lance Stewart, second place, the number 31 Mustang. Started back in 8th place, up to second. Great run for the national champion.
If we go all the way back to Andrew von Charbonneau and another Mustang, he's in the low 42s, even though he's back there in 7th place. Mustang's the only T4 car is able to run 42s right now, or even 41s. In the case of Lance Stewart.
Some of the notables here
He's closer.
Well. In 12th, I list Toby Grahovic, and Toby had a huge accident in his BMW Z4 here. Got that car back together, really stayed up all night getting it fixed. He's in a Mustang now in T3. Oh no, he's still in the BMW Z4, but this is a different BMW because his other car was pretty bad. But boy, is Lance Stewart trying his hardest to catch down Skornovaki in these final stages.
I'll tell you what, I like Lance's shock setup. When he goes over the curb or through a hole, that Mustang just soaks it up.
He was 0.2 of a second quicker than Skornovaki the last lap. The gap is 3.3 seconds.
Lance did not have a qualifying time at all until that last session. Maybe he arrived here a little bit late, and for whatever reason, that puts Stewart clear back there in 8th on the grid, and it took him so long to get up to the second place position. He can't quite catch Skornovaki. He's close enough that if Skornovaki makes any mistake, he'll be there ready to pounce.
Boy, Lance Stewart is wheeling that Mustang. He is sideways, off the curbs, into the dirt, into the grass. You see Skornovaki, nice straight line there. Well, until that point, up to the straightaway here. But Lance Stewart is on the attack as they come by the line here. It will be 1 lap to go in our T4 National Championship. Skornovaki getting that 1 lap to go right now. Lance Stewart right behind him. Let's see what the gap is. It's 2.3 seconds. Boy, Lance Stewart
took
a second quicker that time.
Took a full second off of him and turned the fastest lap of that time in the race. But Lance is quicker. Skornovaki feeling the heat.
The fastest car on the track right now. Skornovaki has to hold it together down here through turn number 2 into turn number 3. Turn number 2 is more of a bend than a turn, but we'll still call it a turn. Exit of 3, down the hill through 4, into the hard braking zone of 5 coming up. Lance Stewart's been a lot better down the hill here.
You know what? He's got a prancing horse on the side of his car. I'll bet you that's a Mustang that's prancing in that badge on the side of the Stewart car.
Only 2.4 seconds separated these guys at the line. 2.314 to be exact, and that's decreasing with every corner.
Here is that. And Acelta still at it.
Yeah, Kester leading, and that would be a great run for him in 3rd place, getting that final podium spot in B-Spec after a huge incident in the qualifying session, rolling that car over. And I think the coolest part, not coolest, but he rolled over and stayed on the roof and slid probably a couple football fields linked on the roof of that Mazda 2.
No kidding. As we watch Charlie James leading in B-Spec while the leaders in T4 come through. Well, not the leaders, but the T4 cars come through. Always that can be an effect on the results in each class as they sorted out slower cars and faster cars. Good old traffic.
Saw Michael Collins and his MX-5 getting around this battle for 3rd. Not quite over as Kester has it. Asalta in his Safe Racer Mini Cooper behind him in 4th. Back to 5th, Sean Young and Derek Ambrose in 6th. They're out of the picture. It's only now the battle for 3rd. Joel Liparini in 2nd, Charlie James in the lead.
Charlie's got a couple of seconds on Joel Liparini. He's going to be in good shape if nothing goes wrong. Acelta just close enough to put some pressure on Kester for the 3rd step on the podium. Into the carousel, flat out, all the way around. These B-Specs just pumping it as hard as they can. I think this is essentially a long straightaway for them.
But here is your race leader right now, Michael Skornovaki, coming through turn number 4 on the brakes. Car looked a little unsettling there. He getted it back around just over the rumble strips. Some lap traffic in front of him. James Place in that Mustang. He's not going to have to worry about him. James pulls over anyway, but here it will be. Michael Skornovaki, your 2013 SCCA 50th running of the Runoffs national champion. Lance Stewart, the 2nd place. Vandersloot, can he hold it together? We saw some smoke in that car. He does. 3rd place for him. Neffenegger will be in 4th in his Honda Civic SI.
Great little battle there. Lance going for it, and here we are in B-Spec. Charlie James leading B-Spec.
Big smoke in front of our
Somebody
Charlie
spun
James
it.
leader
Yeah.
there. Yeah, no action there. Is big momentum for Charlie James coming up behind the faster car of Michael Collins, but once they get to that straightaway, here is Ralph Porter and Steven Zink crossing the line. Ralph will be 8th, Zink in 9th. Watching for Charlie James, you'll see him crest the hill. There's Michael Collins and Charlie James, your 2013 SCCA Runoffs B-Spec National Champion. Got to add that on the back of the Safe Racer trailer. National Champion. Joe Liparini in second, and it was Tony Kester in third. After rolling that car over, the crew got that car fixed, finishes on the podium with a bronze medal.
This is the Ford Mustang victory lap in T4.
It sure was. Mustangs 1, 2, and 3. How about that, Randy? Sweep the podium. Tony Kester, as a special note, won a Formula Ford national champion.
Not only that, but Tony Kester and I drove the Daytona Rolex 24 together 2 years ago in a Porsche.
Is that where you got that watch from?
No, that was 2006, but we tried. We had a good run, though.
And folks, he shows it off to me every time. He just stands there and holds it in my face.
What
That's
time
Randy
is it,
Post.
Jeff?
Yep, that's what time is it? Yeah, he shows me. But how about Tony Kester? You see the damage to the hood there, the damage to the roof. That's all you see. There's not much damage to the side. Landed on the roof and skidded down. Great job for that crew on the B-Spec. Let's see, Continental Mazda Castrol Stable supporting his car. Continental. Boy, just an awesome job from his crew getting that final podium spot. But congratulations to Charlie James in B-Spec. He gets those free entries next year all season long in Pirelli World Challenge. 3 entries for Joe Liparini and an entry for Tony Kester. I hope all 3 of those drivers will take full advantage of that, move up into the pro ranks.
I know we saw Charlie James and Micah Celta at several of the B-Spec races in World Challenge last year.
Yeah, but BF Goodrich, how about that, winning in B-Spec with Charlie James and Joel Liparini. Micah Salta in first, Lance Stewart second, and Vandersloot in third. Great run for Mustang in the Touring 4 category.
B.F. Goodrich has made quite a comeback now in club racing, and they run that R tire that I hear is a great tire, and they've got another championship racked up right here with that new tire.
Yeah, great job on them. And Skornavaki on Hoosiers.
Revving it up for the corner workers.
That was cool. That's what's so awesome here about watching these SCCA corner workers, to see them look at that, waving, high-fiving, hands up. They're just excited as these drivers are for winning. It's amazing, the all-volunteer crew staff and the corner workers. Make sure, once again, folks, go to sponsoraflagger.com, throw $5, $1, $10, hell, $100, and we'll get some gift cards out to these guys. It pays for gas, it pays for lodging, because they come out here, they camp out all week long. They are the ones that make this happen, this SCCA staff and crew.
And it's the best seat in the house to watch the races.
Boy, I'll tell you what, we got John Bizignano down on pit lane. He's going to be busy here with 2 different classes, got 6 interviews to do.
Busy. I love it.
John Bizignano, man, the man. Get off the couch, come out and race, his catchphrase, that's for sure.
That's the truth, especially in classes like T4 and B-Spec. Go do it. Don't just play those video games. Go get yourself a car. There's nothing like feeling the G's.
Way to do that. And here is Michael Skornavaki. Got a chance to speak with him yesterday. He was out banging wrenches and hammers and getting Michael Kramer's Saturn fixed. He had an incident and was helping out on someone else's car in a whole different class. Just a compadre. I'm so excited I can't even talk.
I know the word you want, but I can't think of it either.
I can't say of it either. Yeah, that stupid ADD that we both have, man. I just can't get rid of it there. But Lance Stewart in second and Vandersloot in third in T4.
Look at those Mustangs. That's definitely the car for the Road America track.
And let's go down and talk with our national championship. John Bizignano, you got him down there?
Enjoying the victory a little bit, trying to get his helmet off and so forth. But again, just to look at the Mustang and their success here, remember that Michael was on pole by 1.4 seconds, which is an incredibly long time in any type of racing. Yeah, that's what I say, Michael. Let's have some emotion here. You get the Hoosier winning necklace and a little bit of water from Bonnie. Michael, congratulations on a great win. We were talking on the grid before. We pointed out, you know, your domination in qualifying, but you had your mirrors filling up there towards the end.
Yeah, you know, I tried to pick a pace that I knew the tires would last. It's a very heavy car, and I tried to pick a pace and just run that pace and hope that was good enough. And you know, I kept getting a gap back to second place. Unfortunately, early in the race, they were working pretty hard, and I think they were using their cars up. And you know, we ran a pace, and it worked out.
Well, it worked out beautifully. I think the competition was so busy beating each other up for second and third that you were able to, I don't want to say coast, but you were able to keep the car underneath you.
Absolutely. I mean, these races, you've got to stay out of trouble. And, you know, it's nice to be in the front row. Fortunately, we got a really nice start, you know, got the lead, and just never looked back.
There's nothing wrong going flag to flag. You don't have to be so humble about it.
No, I like the boring races. You know, a lot of people say, you know, Kyle Busch, you know, in the Nationwide Series, believe me, he's not bored when he's winning, and neither were we.
Well, let's get that gold medal on you, Bonnie. Congratulations on a fantastic qualifying and just a beautifully run race. Back to our number 31 car, another Mustang. Obviously, Mustang's the car to have right now in T4, but we were talking also to Lance Stewart. Let me ask you, congratulations, Lance, on that silver medal. I got to tell you, you had the fastest lap in the race a couple times around. Would you have been able to catch this guy if there was another 5 laps to go?
Yeah, maybe. I think I could have caught him. I think if I would have been up there a little further at the start, maybe we could have had a little bit different finish. But it is what it is. We did our best. I got to thank Dave Mead, Special Vehicle Logistics, my BF Goodrich Tires, my wife, putting up with all this crap.
This beautiful lady right here. I think this would be a much better shot if you were standing next to this gentleman. This is the best reward of the day right here, along with your silver letter. You were braking hard, using all the track. I mean, this was an 11/10 effort.
It's all I could do. I mean, he had such a gap on me by the time I cleared the guys behind me. It was just try to drive as perfect as I could and try to wear him down and catch up to him, and I just didn't have enough.
Was it as much fun for you?
Oh, no, it's not.
When you see him absolutely maxed out like that, what are you thinking? Oh, my.
My heart is pounding. I'm crazy, busy, nervous, but I am so happy that he got it.
I think that's true love, isn't it? All that good stuff. I hope so. Congratulations on that beautiful silver.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations. Back up front here to another Mustang. And remember, these aren't the big honking V8s. These are the V6s, just a little bit around 200 horsepower. But a very good drive. And another black and yellow Mustang. Greg, we were talking on the grid here saying, oh my gosh, this is my first time here. I'm going to learn a lot. Well, I think you got just about a master's or doctorate degree out there.
I got about a dose of everything there, John. Got a pretty good start. Coming down into 5, I think it was Brian Price in the MX-5 just drilled me in the back and just spun me sideways. You know, we were able to recover though, and I just put my head down and drove. Drove up to 3rd, got past Lee, and I figured, all right, Stewart's ahead, Skornovaki's ahead, 3rd is safe, 3rd is podium.
Well, 3rd is podium. I don't know how safe it was out there with all that traffic you're going through. Congratulations on that great bronze. Come back with a little bit more experience and, you know, do your own little bumping here and there.
Absolutely. I just want to thank my family. First of all my friends, 3 of them are right over on the wall there, came from my...
Wave, friends.
Wave, guys.
He says he has 3 friends. 1, 2, 3, yes.
Got 3.
3 friends. You're making more friends all the time. Yes, okay.
TV time.
Okay.
But no, Carbotech brakes, fantastic brakes. BF Goodrich Tires, Ford Racing, Summit Racing Equipment, and all of our contingency sponsors that came on board with us for the runoffs. Thank you all guys very, very much, and we'll be back next year.
Well, you did a great job for them also. Congratulations to everyone. Back to the booth, and we'll look at the B-Specs here in just a moment.
Yeah, great run for him, and boy, to be joined on the podium by 2 veterans, with Skornovaki getting his 2nd championship. Lance Stewart already has one, and Vandersloot, this was his rookie year, so great job from him. Boy, that's a tall boy.
Tall man, for sure, and the Mustang's got plenty of room for him, I'm sure, especially with a racing seat. In the old days, we used to have to run a stock seat. One of the many problems with that is there's not enough room once you have your helmet on and everything, so the racing seats have very little padding, and you can adjust it to make anybody fit.
Yeah, great run for that, and an all-Mustang sweep of the podium in the T4 category at the 2013 SCCA runoffs. We'll try to catch up with our B-Spec podium here shortly. And there he is. You see Charlie James in that Safe Racer Mini coming in, completing his victory lap. Got to be a great run for him. Once again, cannot thank Safe Racer enough. A free driver suit to every pole winner here. That's 28 driver suits that he got to give away here this weekend. That's
Amazing.
awesome. And let's get a chance to talk with that guy. Charlie James, your winner.
Well, actually, Charlie went out and did a victory lap while I was taking so long with the T4 class. But Joel Liparini, my gosh, I mean, I've seen you do this for many, many years. Let's just put it that way. Congratulations on the silver. You were having a great time out there, buddy.
Oh, this B-Spec class is just an absolute blast. The cars are so evenly balanced that you just have to drive 110% the whole time.
Well, you know how to do that, but you know, people don't always think of a Mazda 2 as the car to go racing in, you know.
Well, the Mazda 2, the Mini, and of course the Honda Fit. I love it, the Honda Fit. So, yeah, we've been doing good all year, and it's nice to pull off a second here.
When you see the three different manufacturers out there so close, where do you have an advantage? Because you know where to take any kind of an advantage.
Well, driving, I think.
Driving, okay,
Yeah,
experience,
driving.
right?
Experience.
Joel, you've always been so humble ever since I've ever known you. Doing well in the World Challenge also?
Yeah, you know, that takes such an effort from the crew and everybody. It's a monumental task, and we're so pleased that my volunteer crew from SCCA all over the country has put us third in points.
Well, congratulations. Keep that up. Beautiful silver medal. Put those with all the other ones, okay? All right. Looking very relaxed here, guys, you know. And upside down earlier.
Yep, remember, right here.
Tony, take me through this, okay? I mean, my gosh, this is not the way a podium car should look. What a great effort, Tony, on everybody.
Well, it was. I just drove the car. It was a great effort by everybody putting this thing back together. John Doonan helping us out getting parts. Vince right here.
Vince.
You're on television, Vince.
Vince.
He's the man that put it back together, and that car was great in the race. He did a great job.
Thanks, Tony.
So when you saw him, Vince, going down upside down and still moving down the track quite well, actually, you know, you do have the upside down track record here. I have to tell you that. Were you thinking that this car was not even going to make the race, but be, well, in the winner's circle in third place?
I didn't see the wreck happen, but when I saw it come back on the rollback, I kind of was thinking either my job got real easy because I only have two cars to work on then, or it got really hard because we're going to put it back together. I said, Tony, if we build this, if we put it back together, you going to drive it? He said, hell yes. So here we are.
Well, congratulations to both of you. I think you should keep this guy around, you know, okay? All right, well, we're trying to herd rabbits down here, but I think we have the first place driver. You know, in the old days, they used to, like, come to me to talk to me, but we are trying to congratulate the first place driver, that beautiful Mini Cooper, and, of course, they've gone to the podium. But I'll tell you, Charlie James, he drove very smart. He was using the best elements of that car. Of course, a front-wheel drive Mini. It's a little bit wider, handles a little bit better in the fast turns, as Randy was talking about. But you got to keep all of that underneath you. And sometimes it's very much harder to lead than it is to follow. He had Joe Liparini in his mirrors very often, much of the time, but he always kept his cool up front. So our congratulations to Charlie James and winning the gold here, winning the championship here in a great new class, B-Spec Racer. This class is going to grow, and you could be in it. You could help it grow. Okay, guys, back to you.
Get off the couch and go racing.
As I was waiting for Biz to say that. He never did, so we gave that call to Randy Popes, but got a couple special awards to give away as well. The GoPro Hero Move of the Race in our T4 category has got to go to Lance Stewart. That pass that he made moving up to second place over Neffenegger on the outside. Great run for him. And on to your top 10 in T4 now, it was two-time national champion Michael Skornavaki. Lance Stewart was in second, Greg Vandersloot in third, Lee Neffenegger fourth, Brian Price in fifth, and the rest of your top 10. On to your B-Spec. Charlie James gets the win. Liparini second. Kester was third, your 1990 Formula Ford champion. Asalta gets fourth. Sean Young in fifth. And Kester going to get that GoPro Hero Move of the Race, moving into third place. Well, my name is Jeff Lepper. Randy Popes here. John Bizignano down on pit lane. Thank you for joining us for our T4 and our B-Spec National Championship round here at the SCCA Runoffs. The 2013 SCCA Runoffs are brought to you by Mazda. Zoom Zoom.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross, or go wheel to wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
He ignored the naysayers and never compromised. When Thomas Edison threw the switch, it changed everything. Engineering without compromise. This is the Mazda way. And this is the Mazda CX-5. SkyActiv technology makes it lighter yet stronger, earning a top safety pick. And more fuel efficient than any hybrid SUV. This is the uncompromised Mazda CX-5. What do you drive?